Welcome to this week's installment in our Football Officials video training series. We're studying the National Federation of High School Rules and five-man mechanics. Technical advisors are Greg Downham, Dax Hill, and George Demetrio. Video technical assistance provided by Jim Woods and Sam Porter. I'm your host, Todd Allen, the Executive Director of the Arkansas Association of High School Officials. Visit our website at AAHSO.com. We're helping good officials get better. Are you ready? We are at week one. We're going to talk about kickoff mechanics, keys and switching, and then we'll finish it off with the illegal blocks in the back. It is time for football. This presentation is brought to you by the Ready Study Guide to the NFHS football rules. The Ready Study Guide. When you're through learning, you're through. Obviously, something we're going to spend a great deal of time talking about this week is the new free kick formation rules. Two key elements in this rule are timing. They involve the ready for play whistle and the time the ball is kicked. And the element is both of these formation rule requirements have to be maintained through that interval. So what we want to do, especially these first couple of weeks as we're getting the teams used to the new rule, is coach them up good. Preventive officiate. I can't emphasize that enough. Preventive officiate, preventative officiate, preventive officiate. I've tried to emphasize it enough, but I know that I haven't. And we can do that just communicating very well with the coaches in the pregame. And then as the teams line up for the first couple of kicks, we can really talk to them about making sure that they know keep 4 players either side of the kicker. Keep everyone inside the box. That's both feet inside the box. They can't even be on the line. They have to be inside the line. And the box is here. So we're talking about the lines. We're talking about this big line here and this big line here. The only player who can be outside this box at any time in that interval is the kicker. He's the exception to the rule. Now, the referee is going to be responsible for 4 on each side. The back judge is going to be responsible for keeping all 10 of these players inside this 5-yard belt. Now, let's talk for a minute philosophically about trick plays, onside kicks, bunching up. If they do anything that tries to deceive or trick the receiving team, it's a trick play. And philosophically, we know that trick plays get the highest degree of scrutiny. They must be 100% legal. So this, we're not going to try to be too technical the first couple of weeks. That's all out the window if they try to use a trick play on a free kick. But if they're just doing a regular old kick the ball down the field, we want to be very, very careful these first couple of weeks. We don't want any fouls called for slight, just very minor violations of this rule. So let's work with the teams. Let's use the principle of advantage, disadvantage, and coach these kids up a lot, do a lot of preventive officiating, and let's get through this rule change with ease and not have any real problems. And I think we've covered the elements of this rule in the rule change video that you saw hopefully in the last month or so, and then today showing this free kick rule and drawing up the box and explaining exactly what everyone must do. Big job for the line judge and the back judge working as we get these free kicks on the way. Get them up and running. Smooth, easy, no problems. I know you're going to do great. All right, let's take a look at this play, and we're going to put a few wrinkles into it, but I got something I really want you to think about here. Let's first start off by taking a look at the referee's position. What we like, 12 or 14 yards off the line of scrimmage and about 5 yards wide of the normal tackle position. And this guy is in great position here, referee. I like your spot here. And let's talk just for a second about his keys. He's going to be looking at basically the quarterback, these 2 up backs, and then the running back here in the backfield. Now let's just take a look at what he does here. Yeah, it takes a little step right there and then resets. Or does he reset? We get that moment of pause here where everyone stops. Then we let this play run and the referee drops a flag here. Only thing we can go with since we let it go is that this is an illegal motion. And let me tell you what I don't like illegal motion. And you can take a look at both of these rule references for illegal motion and false start, which is what I want you to go with here. 7, 2, 6, and 7. Huddling or shift of all 11 players, A shall come to an absolute stop and remain stationary simultaneously without movement of hands, feet, head, or body for at least 1 second before the snap. What we really are talking about, though, is a pause. We just want them to pause briefly. We're not going to go 1001 or 1 Mississippi or 1 Colorado or anything like that. We're just going to say 1. We just pause briefly, which actually after he makes this little step, he does pause briefly. We get that moment of stop, and then we snap the ball. Now, the problem is we also get a reaction here from this defensive end. Take a look at this. Now, let me ask you something. Just think about this. If this defensive end steps into the neutral zone and we're working illegal motion, first of all, it's not even a foul until they snap the ball for illegal motion. Now, if this defensive end jumps into the neutral zone before they snap the ball, you cannot have illegal motion because that illegal motion requires the ball to be snapped. So we just have to stick this defensive end for being offside, when clearly he's reacting to this false start by the up back. So let's just make it easy. Let's get out of all that what ifs. Let's just say if any player simulates the start of the snap, it's a false start. What I want to do at this play is I just want you to shut it down. Referee, even if you come out late, the ball gets snapped and we start, the quarterback starts making this move. If you'll just get on your whistle, throw your flag, and come crashing in and protect these players and be a great dead ball official, late I'm okay with. I don't like this to be illegal motion. This is just a false start. Let's just shut this play down. That way, if this guy breaks through and runs 50 or 60 yards for a touchdown, we're not dragging this thing back and it looks like the game's about us. Let's just stick with 7.1.7. After the ball is marked ready for play and before the snap begins, no false start shall be made by any A player. And then it goes into the definitions of what a false start is. This is clearly a false start. He simulates the start of the play. You shut this down, and we rule this a false start. So great position and great to be looking at the players that you're supposed to be looking at, referee. But let's just change this from illegal motion to false start. Move right along. Lots going on in this play. We're going to take a look at the line judge who's at the bottom of the screen. Keys and switching, and also the potential here for a targeting foul. If you notice, we've got a balanced formation. There's two wide receivers on each side, single back in the backfield with a shotgun quarterback. Maybe a pistol quarterback. I'll give you that one. But the line judge here takes these the wide out here at the bottom of the screen. Also going to look back at the tackle. You notice these two wide receivers just go out here in the flat. Neither one is pressed or in danger of being fouled. So the line judge goes back and picks up his tackle, and this potential foul right here, a takedown right at the point of attack as the quarterback scrambles to the backside of the play. This is a great job, line judge, here of identifying your keys and then seeing that they're not in jeopardy, and then going back and help the referee who's got his hands more than full here with all this action in the pocket and the quarterback scrambling out to the backside of the play. So great job here. Now the potential for this foul to be targeting is, look, this contact is very, very high, clearly above the shoulders, although this is not a defenseless player. That element's not required for you to have a targeting foul. Just contact the head and neck area of your opponent with something like your arm or your hand, as we see here in this video. Kind of tough to see because the video's not great, but you can clearly see by the head of the defender going back that there is some contact here. The majority of the contact is obviously very, very high. And it's a nasty play. And great job by the line judge of coming back and getting this action right at the point of attack and continuing to officiate. Referee is moving down the field with his key. Here's a quarterback that's actually getting tackled. But the line judge continues to officiate and get this action here on the tackle, as well as continue to officiate the ball up the field. Good job of tracking the forward progress up the field. This is just a very well officiated play by the line judge. I wanted to show you this and get you talking again about keys, switching, and also the potential for a targeting foul. Got one more play here I want to talk about in week one before I let you off the hook and get you ready to go out and work your Friday night game. This is illegal blocks in the back, or foul code IBB, and we talked a lot about this last year in the training videos, and we may talk about it again some more next week. But blocks in the back and understanding players that are in chase mode, coming from the back side of a player. And if you just imagine the player's shoulders being the clock, if a player's facing straight forward, he's looking at 12 o'clock, his rear end is 6 o'clock, and each shoulder's at 3 and 9. So we're talking about a player getting in between 3 and 9 towards 6, then that player's in chase mode. And so what I want to do here is show you this and the potential here for this player being in chase mode and looking at this. Is this a block in the back? Let me stop it. You make a decision. Is this a block in the back? Clearly it looks like a block in the back based on the video that we saw here, right? Player's clearly in chase mode, comes, shoves the potential tackler right at the point of attack, shoves him right by the ball carrier who's able to change directions and get away. So clearly looks like a block in the back. But I've used a little trichinosis here because what I did not show you was the 4 or 5 steps leading up to what happened here. So let's wind this thing back and go all the way to the beginning. And you see here this defensive tackle coming right in on through the line of scrimmage, and the blocker is directly in front of him. The action continues as the player goes by him, never loses contact, and now we end up at his back. But this is all just one block. There is contact in the back here, and that's where the contact ends, but it's not where the contact began. It actually began head up in the front, and continuing contact as this play moved by. This is a perfectly legal block. But see how deceiving it can look like if you only catch it at the spot where the contact is in the back. And the reason that I showed you this is because it's very, very important when you're ruling on plays involving block in the back. You have to see where the defender comes from, and you have to see the whole play. That's what we mean when we talk about see the whole play, because you've got to see those steps coming up to this block. If you miss that, it can look like something that it's clearly not. It can look like a block in the back, but by going back and watching the replay and seeing the whole play, you can see this is clearly not a block in the back. This is a perfectly legal play by an offensive lineman, close line play, and he just works his way, continues to block this guy, and gets him in a bad position, and the running back makes a great move here to get around to the outside. It's a perfectly legal block. Not a block in the back, but tricked you by showing you just the last action as the block finishes, but not where it starts. So very, very important that we see the whole play, know where these players came from, recognize players that are in chase mode, understanding the term chase mode, and then we'll be great officials at ruling on plays that involve the potential for a block in the back. The main thing with this play is referees, you might be able to help. Umpires, you as well. Work together as a crew, get multiple angles, talk about these plays. Don't let your fellow official make a mistake. When it's clear in this example, he just missed seeing the whole play. All right, that is enough to talk about for week one. I know some of you may have worked on Monday or Tuesday night this week as we had some kickoff classic games. But I want to remind you, too, about the weather. We can still have extremely hot weather as we've had the past week here in Arkansas. So remember not only to think about hydration for the kids while you're out there playing, finding those breaks in the game where you can get water without breaking momentum, but also think about in the days leading up to your game, getting yourself hydrated, getting yourself ready to work 2 or 3 hours in the heat up and down the field. I know you've been getting yourself in shape in the off season, so you're ready to go, but just think about hydration too as part of your pregame routine, and that needs to start on Wednesday night. So that's it for this week one training video. If you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to share with us how you're using our training videos, here's my email address, toddallen65@mac.com. I would love to hear from you. You can also sign up for our distribution email list on our website, AAHSO.com. So check that out. Also, there's play bulletins and quizzes and everything up on the website. We've really tried to upgrade that for this year, and I think we've made some improvements. I'd be interested to hear what you have to think. So that's it for this week. For the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, this is Todd Allen saying thanks. Have a great, safe first week.